Hey everybody, Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics, and today, talking about the Joker. So, there is a movie coming out with Joaquin Phoenix, and I guess I like the trailer. Haven't seen the trailer? I suggest you look at it. It's not hard to find. Joaquin, I really like him as an actor. He is convincing. Personally, I have this fear of being paralyzed and having to live life out like that. And there was a role he played, which I just got like a glimpse of. And I think it was like, the title's like, He'll Never Get Away on Foot or something. But like, he was so like riveting in that form. It's like, I cannot watch, my hefty goes up. He's a good actor. And he's been so committed to his roles in the past. I remember when he was out, trying to convince people that he was giving up acting in order to be a musician, just for this one role he was doing. Though he's pretty committed. And Heath Ledger, giving us our most famous and arguably best performance of the Joker, he was certainly very committed to the role. So I'm looking forward to the movie, but there has been some rumblings in the Twitterati about, concerned about the Joker inspiring people. And we got an article in The Independent, a UK newspaper today, not an article, but, an editorial saying that, hey, simmer down there, and basically voicing a concern that the movie might glamorize, the Joker, and it would be hard to imagine it's not going to glamorize him a little bit, and that the Joker's anti-societal agenda, the rejection of society, is going to motivate people to go out and essentially strike out against society on their own. Essentially what they're saying is that if you present something in fiction, it will motivate people to do it in practice. And when you really reduce it down to that argument, what it's saying is that we need to censor the movie, or at least we need to, we need to deplatform the movie because people might get hurt if they watch it, right? It might damage their minds, and they might be motivated to go out and take actions against society. Okay, well, I gotta say, the Joker resonates to me, and there are people, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this, but there are people who are arguing against the Joker based on kind of like racial lines. There's this fear of white men acting out against society, and that's the alt-right, and therefore the Joker is... And hey, there's a meme going around about Clown World, and it seems like the left is kind of hating on clowns, so of course they're going to be attacking the Joker. And what is the greater argument here? I think is that everyone needs to kind of stay in line, because there are merits to that argument. There are merits to saying, hey, we should follow society's rules. Because if you don't do that, well, then you get anarchy. Now, anarchy is preferred in certain cases, right? It depends on how bad your government is. If you're in the middle of, Stalin's Russia, I would prefer anarchy over Stalin's Russia. And, similarly, if I'm in Hitler's Germany, let's become anarchists. Let's fight against the opposing powers. And the Joker then kind of represents this call, and the article does say, that we all kind of feel, to want to liberate ourselves from the bounds of society, as we see in Fight Club. And we do see that there is some race-based gender kind of thing of, when Captain Marvel steals the motorcycle from the guy who said the bad thing, that is a perfectly acceptable use of thwarting societal conventions. But Joker, come on now. Okay. Let's not go being so sexist about it. But deeper than that, I think ultimately we really know what is right in ourselves, or we don't. And if we can't understand what is right in ourselves, then we essentially are operating off of a reward-punishment model. These arguments are very old, incidentally. This is the Thomas Hobbes argument for Leviathan, by which anarchy, the complete abandonment of government, will lead to a life which is, as he put it, nasty, brutish, and short. And in order to avoid that fate, we then need to follow the government, regardless of how oppressive it may be. Because regardless of how oppressive it is, it's still better than complete anarchy. And that was Hobbes' argument in the book Leviathan, which I once attempted to read. Don't do it. It's not good. It's not a page-turner. Political philosophers a few hundred years ago, woo, they took their times making their points, and they were so wordy. But I really feel like you could take Hobbes' argument and collapse it down to a page, and he did not do that. But the Joker does. The Joker argues for Locke's kind of point of view, and that's that we have these natural rights, and if the government isn't recognizing them, then we can just overthrow the government. And that is enshrined in kind of the American way of life and our Declaration of Independence, that whenever governments do not respect the rights that we now claim the authority to overthrow those bans. And the fight revolution. And the Joker is a revolutionary figure. V and V for Vendetta is very close. The thing about the Joker and the Batman mythologies is he's pushed to a pure agent of chaos. That the idea that, madness is right there. But madness is right there. And coming back to the nature of art, if we can't see madness on the screen, if we can't experience art that speaks to us, that speaks to our desire to overthrow society, to act out on our own, then we're just repressing it. And I think we know, right? If you repress human nature, it doesn't lead to suddenly these desires going away. So I don't... but what we've done is we've allowed the Joker, who is a figure we can all sympathize with, to be the villain. So we get to look for, and we get to cheer for him, kind of like, quite frankly, I cheer for Thanos a little bit. We get to cheer for him, and then we see that he's defeated, as we know he must be defeated by the end of the picture. But, gosh, we sure do look for the next time we get to see him, because we love seeing him on screen. And there are certain archetypes like that, like the femme fatale. We love those characters. We want to see more of those characters. Regardless of how cliche or cardboardy it is, if there's a femme fatale character, that's going to be a draw. The Joker is an archetype in that way. And he speaks to us directly. And he should be allowed to. And the idea of, okay, you know what, let's treat him as a character in his own right. What, a transgressive hero? Like Dexter? Did we need to be concerned that we're all going to become a serial killer? Come on. Do we really need to be concerned that we're going to start blowing up hospitals? No. What we need to do is we need to take art and do what art does, which is allow it to create discussions. Because sometimes some governments do need to be opposed. Some society conventions do need to be opposed. And what I find so ironic is that typically the same people who are attacking the Joker and saying, you people need to be in line and obey the rules, will turn around and then argue against other social mores and other societal convention and just go, oh yeah, a 3-year-old transgender whatever, as with Charlize Theron, or 5, or whatever. Those are completely acceptable ways to flout society's interests, or Captain Marvel can steal the bike, but you guys need to follow the rules. And that is an unfair double standard. So let us embrace the Joker. Let us let him start discussions. Stop with the repression. It never works. And particularly the censorship. I have a Kickstarter coming up for White Lily issue 3 about the deadliest female fighter pilots in world history. There's a link for that down in the description. It launches on May the 9th. I encourage you to check it out. Thank you very much.